Where are his sisters?
I can't find them.
Anna? Joy?
Wait, I checked the entire house. They're not here.
Dad, there was this RV and they were playing on it. We thought there was someone inside.
You wait here. Let me go.
I couldn't find them!
Detective Loki.
Do you have children, detective?
I'm gonna find your daughter.
Show me your hands right now! Huh?
You put those girls somewhere, Alex.
No.
I know you put those girls somewhere.
He stays in custody until my daughter's found, right?
We have a 48-hour hold on. It ends tomorrow unless we bring charges.
We'll charge him with something.
That boy has never been in trouble, not a day in his life.
Well, this thing's clean. I'd start looking in the woods by the rest stop.
The police said they're letting him go today.
What you doing? Tell me! Oh, no! Day 6, and every day she's wondering why I'm not there.
You told us that you could protect us from everything.
Why did you look for my daughter?
Hello and welcome to this What Do You Want to Watch Spoilercast for Denis Villeneuve's 2013 film, Prisoners. I'm Ashley Hobley. Joining me today, Dylan Blatt.
Happy to be here on this Spoilercast.
It's good to hear. Please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about the plot themes and ending of this film, so if you haven't watched it, come back later. So with that said, let's jump to our discussion of Prisoners, directed by Denis Villeneuve, written by Aaron Guzikowski, starring Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Viola Davis, Maria Bello, Terrence Howard, Melissa Leo, Paul Dano. When police take time to find Keller Drover's daughter and her friend, he decides to go on a search himself. His desperation leads him closer to finding the truth, and also jeopardizes his own life. Dylan, you've obviously watched this movie before. What are your memories of the first time, and what do you think of watching it on this rewatch, I guess?
The first time I thought it was a very wild ride and possibly one of Hugh Jackman's best roles, where he's weirdly right on that thin line between just being too over the top, but I think it works, and I would say that's still how I feel, where he's just so fucking angry that it's almost too much, but I actually think it's one of his best performances.
Surprising when you think, oh, this guy was Wolverine.
Yeah. It's this should have been Wolverine the whole time, almost. But Paul Dano is obviously very creepy and very good, and this is sort of one of the things I always remember him from. And when they announced him as Riddler, I was like, okay, so creepy dude from Prisoners, because that's I think it was the first thing I saw him in, or at least the first thing I remembered his name from, I guess, was actually him from this. So maybe not the best role to associate an actor for, but that's the one I do. And then Jake Gyllenhaal's really good in this too. I think he adds a lot of nuance to a role that,
You can't hear it audibly, but I'm blinking a lot.
Yeah. I think they're trying, I think he has I guess.
He's just got dry eyes.
I guess. Well, no, I think it's because blinking thing like that's
it'd be a nervous thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was stuff like that and just other little nuances. I think he adds a lot to a role, which in a lot of films, it just usually comes down to a typical cop character. It'll be probably the least memorable of the two. But yeah, I think he's really, really good in this, and it's also one of his better roles in my opinion. I think everyone in this movie is really, really good. Acting wise, I think it's shot really well. I know one of the complaints is the movie's too long and it drags, whatever. I don't really feel like that. I think it's actually really good. I've enjoyed watching it the second time, even though I knew what was going to happen. It's sort of interesting to watch the second time because I only ever watched it once. This is my second, but knowing who the killer is and picking up on some of the red herrings, and then even when the film in the middle sort of tries to throw you off the track with the other dude and
David
Dasham, or however you say it.
Which was weird. Not expecting him. And then obviously he's a bigger star now than he was when you probably
out.
First watched it,
and then when you first watch, knowing where it's going now and knowing that he isn't just a red herring, he is part of it, but the film, when you're watching it and then the twists and turns, you're oh, this is a red herring, but maybe it's not, and then it is it's a whiplash at times watching it. Yeah, so it was really good to watch it the second time, knowing where it was going to go and seeing all these little things here and there throughout the film, little especially when they're exploring the his mum's house and knowing she's actually the bad guy the whole time. That's always any sort of movie like this, when you're rewatching, you know who the killer is. It's always interesting to watch that performance back and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's a really, really good movie. I think it's definitely Denis very, I don't know, like I would have it in his top 3 for sure. Well, no, it's probably my second favorite of his, put it that way. Like he hasn't done that movies. I'd say this is my second favorite of his movies behind Blade Runner.
Yeah, I really liked it. Like, it's hard to say you enjoyed it, but like it's a really good film. Like, obviously, really good. Like, obviously tackling really tough subject matter. You know, it got me in the mood. I'm like, maybe I need to like watch the big one on my list that I haven't watched. Like, maybe I should watch 7. It's like, I really enjoy this. Maybe I'm in the mood for something like that. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the mystery behind like what happens to these kids is like really cool. Jake Gyllenhaal plays a great detective, really great performance, and then Hugh Jackman, obviously, like playing a father, kind of driven to the brink by his inability to do anything. It's like really engaging to watch. Paul Dano, I didn't expect that. The story of Paul Dano, I'd like seen the trailers for the movie, and I assumed he was just like a creepy guy who was like quiet and shy. Didn't expect him to have an IQ of a 10-year-old, and that's why he wasn't revealing stuff. But yeah, just seeing him getting beaten up is like fuck, and the extent that like that Hugh Jackman goes to like setting up that shower, it's like. Where's the fucked up mind? Yeah. You know, but he get, you know, karma. You know. Yeah, so, yeah, and then I felt like obviously the reveal worked because, you know, I felt like I got figured it out maybe just before he went to the house, but, you know, because
I think the film does a good job at, like,
dropping
you enough that,
yeah.
Yeah, you kind of come to it at the same time.
Well, yeah. You obviously, David's character is in love with mazes and that kind of stuff. Obviously, showing the symbol that they found in the father's house of the guy he killed, who claimed he'd stolen a bunch of children. You kind of piece that together with her saying that his husband like disappeared or left several years ago, whatever. You know, there are a lot of little things that all kind of added up that made it very satisfying. But yeah, I think the one thing that did, in hindsight, doesn't really work is David's character, like breaking into their houses and stealing the little kids' clothes.
It was to complete his imaginary, he's the killer thing.
Oh, he wanted to be the killer, is it?
Yeah. So he broke it, like he has those dolls buried in the backyard, and like he has fake blood, and like he'd been stealing. Like they explain that when they take the blood off the clothes, like it's all fake. Like he had this imaginary thing, and to be part of that, he breaks in literally to steal clothing items so he can put them in the case, so then he would be known as the killer. Like he's trying to be caught to a degree. Like he didn't purposely get caught, but like he wants to, if he got caught, then he would have evidence. He wanted evidence, and he put the blood on the sock so they would think he's the killer. Yeah. It was all part of that book where it's like, it was all, well, it was really, it comes back to it comes back to the fact that he was captured by the mum and her husband, and he was there for a period. Like he was kidnapped as a kid. Obviously, he has a tortured upbringing. He eventually is either released or escapes. That's not explained. However, because of that, he then has this whole thing where he reads this book which is about him being kidnapped, but he doesn't actually know it's about him. Like someone wrote about all these kidnappings happening at the time, and about how the person in the book calls him like an invisible kidnapper or something. So he then gets attached to this idea anyway, because his mind's like messed up. He does all this. Yeah, there's like things not explained, but not to the degree I don't think they needed to be. Like more or less, he
like how did he survive? How did he get out?
I don't. Yeah, well, they don't explain that. I don't think they need to though. Like you assume either he was let go because he got too old and they only wanted kids, or he escaped.
Yeah.
One or the other. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, pretty scary stuff. Even, like, I love the reveal, like, she was hiding him underneath that car that, you know, Loki saw the first time he showed up at her house.
Yeah.
Fucking, and then, you know, what was it? Just her revealing why she was kidnapping these children. Like, they're waging war against God, and the only way to do that is to get people to stop believing in him by
because they lost their kid, they lost their child. So then, because of they blame it on God, they're now waging this war against God for revenge.
You know,
it's fucked up.
Fucked up. Yeah. Yeah, like you said, beautifully shot. Obviously, cinematographer is our Lord and Savior, Roger Deakins, first collaboration. So, you know, of course, I was at points I'm like, why are they staying on this shot for so long? It's like, oh, okay, it all makes sense now at the end of the film. It's like, I'm sure Denny was like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, set up the frames however you like. Yeah, I think obviously it's stacked cast. Like, maybe not at the time, but like Viola Davis is like probably her star's like risen exponentially
a lot since this.
Yeah. So and even like the kid Dylan Minetti, I think he was in like 13 Reasons Why or whatever, that TV show that blew up. Well, no, he's been in a bunch
the
of,
son. Yeah.
Maybe not that show, but yeah.
I don't know if it's that, but he has been in other stuff. Yes.
He's been in a bunch of other stuff, yeah. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So I think even the like final rush to the hospital, that was intense.
Yeah, the blood.
It's like,
coming out.
why are you like going so fast in the rain?
Well, she would have died.
Call somebody.
She would have died.
He would have died if she crashed a car.
Yeah, risk and reward.
Why was nobody coming out to her straight away? It's like,
yeah, no. It was more realistic. That only ever happens in Hollywood movies.
Yeah, it's like,
this
random dude is driving a car straight up here and screaming for help. Just wait till it comes inside, I guess.
There is like a whole other side to this movie that you can dive, like people dive into online. And I remember reading about after the first time I watched it, but it's not something I like could dissect myself, which is the like everyone like there's a lot of like biblical metaphorical stuff to everyone. Like everyone's like sort of named after someone, and you know the fact that there's snakes buried and like there's and it's all legit. Like it's not someone pulling shit out of a hat. It all does make sense and add up, and it doesn't really affect the general direction of the movie, but sort of just shows
it's like an extra layer and
a
lot of
to
symbolism
everything
and stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool. I have to look into that maybe. Yeah. So really like Prisoners. Obviously, doesn't really give you any idea of what Villeneuve's going to do in Dune, but you know, yeah, really great.
Well, I mean, there was that other than watching Blade Runner again. I don't feel like there was another one of his movies that was
close
to watch. But it's like let's just pick something you haven't watched from one of his movies, and one I haven't watched for a while. So,
so you would put this above Arrival?
Yeah, I'm not like obviously I like Arrival. I'm not as hot on as a lot of other people. Yeah, I'd put this above.
And above Sicario?
Yes, just. I would actually put Sicario as 3.
Okay.
That would be my top 3. Yeah, Blade Runner, this, then Sicario. Sicario? However you say it.
Yeah.
That would be my top 3. What would your top 3? Have you watched 3? Now? Yes?
Technically, but I can't talk about one.
Is that still... Okay, I didn't know that was embargoed still there.
Oh no, but yeah, I can talk about it. Yeah, I didn't want to say until you know you'd seen it. Obviously, I've watched it.
I mean,
so
you can tell me where it ranks. That's not fucking. Who do you think I'm?
I would still put Blade Runner.
Your ranking?
I think Dune, Prisoners, Blade Runner.
You'd have Dune as your number 1.
No, like at 3.
Okay.
3 to 1.
I was like, fucking hell. That was surprising. I was expecting it to be, yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's yeah.
Also, it's part 1, so I'm looking forward to talking about Dune with you in like probably later this week, right?
I don't know, like a year from now when it's out, if it doesn't get delayed again. There's still time.
Oh,
right?
next week. Next week is when it comes out. So look forward to our Spoilercast for that. If you want to talk about Prisoners with us, go to explosion.com/support or jump to Discord at explosion.com/Discord. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about Prisoners?
Yeah, how do you feel about the ending? I know some people they're like, oh, why is it on a cliffhanger? Blah, blah, blah. I think it's pretty obvious that he just goes and figures out the car because early in the movie, they literally show he's intuitive and sees this thing behind a fridge and moves the fridge out of the fucking way to find a secret door. Yeah. So, of course, he's going to move the car out of the way if he hears the whistle thing. Like, he's not a detective. They build him up as a detective. He doesn't go, weird whistle noise. Nah, it can't be fucked. Like, he's someone who goes, what is that?
He likes solving puzzles and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, he's going to dig him up. He's going to go to jail.
Dig him up.
There's no,
he's going to go to jail. Yeah.
You're already complaining about it being too long. Why you want another 20 minutes?
Yeah, you don't need to see. Apparently, they shot that though.
Oh, that's interesting.
There was an interview a couple of years ago. They didn't tell you, or recently. I don't remember.
Did Jake Gyllenhaal stand over the top and go, "Wow, it looks like you were a prisoner"?
I think it just ended with him looking down the hole after moving the car, and then when they watched it back and did the edit, so we're like, this just feels unnecessary. Like, it's just sort of just leave it there as is, which is fine. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, he moves the car, he'll go to prison. He won't be in prison forever. Like, he'd go for a little while and he'll get out and he's back to his family and hopefully everything's okay then. But I mean, that's the movie. Like, why do we need to see all of that?
Yeah.
You don't.
Absolutely.
Stop. Good movie.
Good movie. Yeah. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch and let us know that you want us to see more good movies, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser, or tell people about the show. And if you like this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosion.com/support. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
What in the world did you do? Someone has to make him talk, or they're gonna die.
We're not gonna help Keller, but we won't stop him either. Let him do what he needs to.
I know you know where they are.